What is your favorite holiday tradition, Carmela?
Hands down, it is our Christmas Eve celebration.
Oh, and why is that your favorite holiday tradition?
Well, because I'm with family, first and foremost, but we also celebrate by enjoying the Feast of the Seven Fishes.
Aha! Well, today we are back again to revisit this holiday seafood extravaganza.
Wow.
And we have 3 new wines to try that we think will be great options for whatever your holiday celebrations are this year. So let's do it.
All right.
Hello, and welcome to the Wine Pair Podcast. I'm Joe, your sommelier of a reasonably priced wine, and this is my wife and my wine pairing partner in crime, Carmela.
Hi there.
And we are the Wine Pair.
Woo!
Okay, a quick orientation for those of you who may be new to the podcast. In each episode, we learn about and taste and review 3 wines that are reasonably priced, which means under $20, and should be easy for you to find. And our goal is to have some fun, to learn about some new wines, and talk about wines in a way that regular people like us can understand.
Right.
And we are regular people, right, Carmela?
We're normal. I don't know if we're normal, but we're
regular.
Are we average?
I don't know. I hope I'm regular.
Wow.
Anyway, and we are proud to say that we are officially recommended by the editors of Decanter Magazine, who call us fun, irreverent,
Chatty.
and entertaining.
Woo.
Okay, last year about this time, Carmela, we did an episode on wines for the Feast of the Seven Fishes, which you mentioned is your favorite tradition, and that is a tradition that many Italian-American families celebrate on Christmas Eve.
That's right.
Now, so I decided to bring it back this year for another shot at finding some great wines for that celebration.
Did we not find any?
No, we
last year?
did. No, we
Okay,
did. And if you
okay.
listen to the episode, you'll find some great wines. But I wanted to try it again. And it's okay if you don't do Feast of the Seven Fishes. If you just do a holiday meal, that's fine. But
a holiday meal? Just some regular
random holiday meal. But I brought it back this year for one really specific reason. And do you know what that reason is?
I bet I do.
What?
Because we watched the whole series of The Bear, both series, both seasons, and they have their own version of the Feast of the Seven Fishes.
That's
on it.
right. That's right. So, first of all, it's our favorite TV show, The Bear.
Oh my God.
If you haven't seen The Bear, see The Bear. What's your
good.
problem?
Yeah, our whole family's like, oh my God, if you talk about that one more time.
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then The Bear had an outrageous but amazing episode called Fishes.
Yes.
And it was based on the Feast of the Seven Fishes
That's right.
in season 2. And the family in The Bear is Italian. And this is an Italian-American tradition. And it's an amazing...
Is it Italian-American or
It's
Italian?
Italian-American.
Are you sure?
It is an Italian-American tradition.
I
It is
think
not an Italian tradition per se.
I don't know about that.
Oh, look it up. Be part of the Look It Up Club.
I will.
Anyway, I swear I looked it up, and that's what everybody said.
Okay.
But anyway, what I want to do in this episode is I want to talk for a little bit about some similarities and some differences between our Feast of the Seven Fishes and that episode in The Bear, just so our Americano friends can know what's real and what's fantasy in The Bear, just for fun.
Okay.
You ready?
I mean, there people could beg to differ, like about anything we say, though.
This is
because
true.
somebody's Christmas Eve may look very similar to it.
But if it does look similar to that, I'm sorry for you.
Please call
A helpline.
911.
Helpline. Okay. And we're going to talk about 3 wines that we picked out for this episode that we think should be really fun and really cool choices. Cool. Yeah, cool. I said it. Cool. For that celebration. Or really, again, any old holiday celebration, especially one that may focus around seafood.
Okay.
Because as you would guess, Feast of the Seven Fishes is about seafood.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I know.
I know.
It's strange.
And I don't know if there are other cultures that do something similar to that, but I'm sure there are. And one reason that I'm pretty sure there are is because there are a lot of regions in the world where there are a sizable number of Catholics. And for Catholics, which we were raised Catholic, it is very typical to abstain from meat the day before a major celebration or an observance of doing without during certain times of the year as a sacrifice. So like the day before a major celebration, kind of take it easy. It's a little bit of a sacrifice. During Lent, during Fridays, you don't eat meat. It's a little bit of a sacrifice.
And to some people, that's a huge sacrifice,
Yeah.
right? But for me, it's like the best deal ever. Like, really, I don't have to eat meat. I can just have fish.
Well, you beat me
It's
to the
amazing.
punch, too, because Italians aren't really super good about making abstinence from from meat sacrifice.
No, in
We're
fact,
just not used to it.
they like lean into it. They're like, they
Yeah.
actually go kind of crazy.
Yeah,
you know, seven fishes. You don't have just one.
No. And so instead of it being about abstinence, it's about going cray-cray.
That's right.
And it's a huge party with tons of food. Yeah. Again, 7 fishes. And that's not a lie.
Why 7?
Well, oh my gosh. It's like you read the script, but you didn't because I didn't give it to you.
No,
but
you never
7
do.
is the operative number. 7 is the operative
tell
number.
us, Joe. Why is it the operative number?
Well, because first of all, there are 7 or at least 7 seafood dishes. Although in the Bear, they were like, somebody brought an 8th and they were going
Freaked
crazy.
out. Yeah.
Now, but we did actually mention this last year, but 7 is an important number in Catholicism and in Christianity, which is the reason why it's 7 fishes. So in the Catholic Church, there are 7 sacraments. In the Bible, there are 7 days of creation. Mm-hmm. Jesus said to forgive 70 times 7. Mm-hmm. And so 7, you get the picture. Like 7 shows up.
It's a lucky number.
It's a lucky number for Jesus. No, in the Bible, it's just like a Christian kind of thing, or very Catholic. It's very Catholic.
Okay.
To have 7 things.
Mm-hmm.
But again, mostly I think it's a good excuse. Mostly there are 7 fishes because Italians like to eat.
That's
and
right.
we hate to do things small. So you wouldn't have the Feast of the 3 fishes because you do 3. 3 is very biblical, but 3 is too small.
Right.
So it's got to be 7.
Like I said, we lean into it. We just, there's no just like holding back. Like,
No.
we'll just have like fish. We're going to have 7.
7. Yeah. And by the way, if you are Italian American or Italian, or you have friends, you know that if we don't have 7 times as much food as we need, we think you don't have enough.
That's right.
So there you go. So if you come from a culture that is very different from ours, but are in a culture where there is a tradition of eating seafood at a certain celebration, we think this is a real good fit and that you'll enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So this Christmas Eve, like every Christmas Eve that we have, there will be a big party. This year it's at your aunt and uncle's house. Mm-hmm. And maybe next year it'll be at our house.
We'll see. We might be changing up the tradition a little
We
bit.
might.
We'll
we
see.
might. We would like to.
Yeah.
But, let's get down to it because we've got a lot to talk about and we have 3 very different and unique wines to taste and review, including a sparkling red wine. That's right. I said a sparkling red wine that are all Italian wines, as would be appropriate for this Feast of the 7 Fishes, and should offer you some fun alternatives for, again, any upcoming holiday parties or meals, especially where fish is served, whether you're Italian or not. But first,
you got to do our shameless plug.
that's right. So we want to thank you very much for listening to us. And if you haven't had the chance to do so, we would really appreciate you subscribing and following our podcast. And as a holiday gift to us and yourself, give us a nice rating and review on our website or Apple
Merry
Podcasts
Christmas.
or Spotify.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, and that would be amazing. And Santa will be sure to reward you for being good.
Really?
And the elf on the shelf will say, hey, that's really good of you.
What?
I don't know how the elf on the shelf actually works.
I don't
That was
either.
post our kids,
right,
so
right.
we don't really understand
We
it.
need actually a little lesson on Elf on the Shelf.
If you know anything about it,
we
please
don't
let us
have an
know.
Elf on the Shelf. We have 3 children. We missed that.
We
that
did.
was right. Post our children.
Post.
Post.
That's right. And you can also follow us or reach out to us on Instagram at The Wine Pair Podcast or contact us on our website, thewinepairpodcast.com, where you can sign up for our world famous newsletter. Okay, and as we do every week, we'll tell you someone we think you should tell about the Wine Pair Podcast. And this week, we want you to tell anyone who loves the show, the bear, or bears in general.
Okay.
And
How about somebody who's hosting Christmas Eve?
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
That would be good. But I do...
If somebody says the bear to you, then you have to just go, we've got wines for you. Listen to the Wine Pair Podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, because you say, did you watch that episode with Jamie Lee Curtis and Christmas Eve and the Feast
And
of
it
the
was
7
amazing.
Fishes? It was
And
crazy.
it was frightening.
Well, we want to tell you that there's a great podcast where they talk about that. How about that?
Okay.
How about that?
Okay.
Okay, and then one more thing. I just want to see if there's anyone out there in listening land from Tappahannock, Virginia, because we are super curious. We're getting a lot of downloads for the area, and we would love to know more about you. We'd be so excited.
That was such a good call to ask.
We would love to hear from you.
We've just
Love it.
noticed, and we're like, want to just draw a little attention to you.
That's right.
Figure it out.
So reach out.
Yeah.
Joe at thewinepairpodcast.com.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, so I want to spend just a couple of minutes on how our Feast of the 7 Fishes is similar to and different We call that a comparison from the bear.
From the English teacher here.
That's right. And look, if you don't know the episode or are still not sure what the Feast of the Seven Fishes is, don't worry. I promise this will be enlightening and entertaining because that is what our podcast is all about, right, Carmela?
That's right.
Enlightening and entertaining.
Exactly.
Okay. Plus, many of you probably have traditional family and friend get-togethers during the holidays, and you'll be able to connect to the story regardless.
Right.
Italian, American, Feast of the Seven Fishes, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So first, Carmela, let's talk about the people attending the festivities. We're going to do a comparison.
Okay.
Contrast and compare. Okay. So like any good family party, there are people there who are family by blood and people there who are family by friendship.
Right.
And they're both family.
Right.
They're both family.
Of course.
Yeah. And in both the bear and in our family, there are both blood relatives and friend relations. Although in general, when it's at your aunt and uncle's house, which again, it is this year, there are a lot more friends that show up, I feel like, than when it's at your parents' house.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Now, it's very common in Italian-American families that some of those friends get titles like cousin or uncle, right? And this happens in the bear. It happened in our family.
It happened to you. It actually happened to you.
They're honorary family titles. How did it happen to me?
Well, because you came into the family via my brother. If anybody doesn't know this story, I won't give you the long story. The short story is that we were the Italian families at our high school.
Yeah.
And they just thought because we were the Italians a little bit,
and we hung out together and we were sweaty and smelly.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, I wasn't going down that road. But anyway, they just grouped us together. And so they thought we were all cousins. Although you were the only one that, well, there was a couple of you who were not cousins, actually.
Yeah.
But everybody called you cousin.
The cousins. We were the cousins. In the bear, one of the main characters is called cousin.
And he is not the cousin.
But that's what you call a family, a close family friend that's like a brother. You call him a cousin.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, it was always really confusing to me, especially in your family, coming over because there were a lot of uncles. And I was always confused about who was like a real uncle or a married-in uncle or just a family friend uncle.
Sometimes cousins become aunts and uncles.
They do. And sometimes your dad still calls me Uncle Joe.
Right.
He does.
No, but like if truly though, if you're like an extra special cousin, you could be called an uncle instead.
Yes, exactly.
Or an aunt.
Yeah. And I kind of feel like cousin is a little bit for maybe the younger crowd and uncle is when you get a little older.
Right. Yeah.
But we don't really say aunt as much. It's more uncle. I feel like.
We call the aunts uncles.
Yeah.
We don't.
Some of them we do. Okay, but
actually,
no, and it's fine. Okay, but regardless, the number of people at the party is usually big, and that changes the dynamics quite a bit.
I mean, there's so much to unpack at both Christmas Eves.
That's right.
I don't know how we're going to do this. Yeah.
But I will say, I find that the people at both parties are loud. The bear party and our party
both are loud. There's a lot of them,
but a lot less violent in your family.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there can be some people will throw like an elbow or
but we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
But there's a friendly reason for that.
Right. There's
it's like a polite.
I mean, we yell at each other, but usually we're saying
it's a good
it's very
thing.
endearing.
If you're getting yelled at,
a lot of hugging, like bear hugging, but not a lot of like bear fighting, like in the bear.
If somebody's shouting your name, that's a good thing.
It's a fine thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Not in the bear.
No.
Not in the bear.
Okay, let's go to the next comparison. Let's talk about the food and the preparation of the food, okay?
Oh, God.
So the first thing I'll say is that the preparation of the food at your family meals is way less chaotic than the bear.
However, we do start early in the day.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
If the family, the Berzattos?
Yeah.
The Berzattos. That family, we didn't see the morning. They needed a morning pre-preparation time.
Which
That's
your
what they
family
needed.
does. Exactly.
We do that. We get together in the morning and we prepare the fish. We clean the fish. We get the rest of the house set up. We plate the desserts. If the lasagna isn't made,
shuck the oysters.
We usually do that the day before. But yes, we'll shuck the oysters.
Clean the crab.
Exactly.
Grill the shrimp.
I don't know if they do that. We didn't see that. I think that the mother could have used a little pre-preparation.
That was the problem. Donna Berzatto, the mother, did the whole thing, and she was kind of crazy, and she was going crazy.
And she had a lot of wine.
A lot of wine.
I don't know if it was Suave or Lambrusco or one of these.
It was red. It was red wine.
It was red, and she had a lot
of it. Yeah. All right. And then the dishes seemed a little bit different in the bear. So the mom, Donna, was making lobster, which we don't do.
Yeah.
We don't make lobster. Mm-hmm. And she was also making bronzino, which is another it's an Italian sea bass they cook it whole,
Right, it's
like
a
with the
whole
head
fish.
on. But we don't do that either. We don't do a bronzino.
No. But there used to be actually one thing that we don't do that your family did, which is more typical of a Feast of the Seven Fishes, is to have bacala.
Bacala, but they didn't do that in the.
No,
the bear
neither.
didn't do. In fact, I did watch it again. I only counted 3 dishes, and only 2 of them you saw: the lobster and the bronzino. And then she mentioned the Rockefellers, which is an oyster reference. And so, I didn't see the 7. Although the son-in-law brings in tuna casserole, which is a really bad idea. Yeah.
Yes.
But in our version, there are usually like appetizers of like smoked salmon and calamari, and then there are waves.
Clams.
Yeah. Well, then there's waves of foods that come out of the kitchen. So there's baked clams, and then there's oysters, and then there's shrimp, and then there's clams and mussels, and then there's cracked crab, and there's so there's a lot of, and they come out in waves,
right?
And we'll talk about that in a second too. And then the meal does culminate in a buffet dinner that's set on another table that consists of things that's usually like pasta or lasagna, breads and salads, and all sorts of other foods.
Yeah, no meat. Although we did have a family member one year bring meat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
And it was really looked down upon. It was not at our house.
I was happy about it, but it was looked down upon.
Yeah, it was like, oh no. Okay.
Now I did note that in the bear, Donna, the mom, she is making additional food. I don't know if you remember this, but she's got a big pot of what she calls gravy, which is tomato sauce, and there were like meatballs and stuff in it. And somebody said, "Why do you make this?" And she said, "Because nobody eats this shit." She's referring to the seafood.
You got to see what her dishes were looking like.
Wow,
they were,
exactly.
If you watch the show, you'll know why.
A little crazy.
Yes.
Okay. And then the last thing is there is a dessert table at your family thing. I didn't see it in the bear, but like tons of desserts.
Lots of Italian cookies.
Tons of cookies.
Mostly cookies.
Pizzelle.
But we have an aunt who also celebrates her birthday.
Yeah. So there's always a cake.
Yeah.
Okay. And then let's talk about the serving of the meal, right? Okay. So one thing that was definitely different about the bear episode was that the whole family sat down at once to eat the meal.
Right.
And that was a crazy, chaotic cookie scene, forks being thrown, and all sorts of stuff. You
absolutely bonkers.
You kind of have to watch it.
Yeah. It is so good. It is so good.
It will stress you out.
Yeah.
In a good and bad way.
It is not one of those, series that you watch and feel relaxed.
No.
I mean, you don't.
And after you watch one, you're like, I need a break.
Yeah.
I actually need a break.
Yes. It's amazing.
But in our Feast of the Seven Fishes, now I already talked about the waves, but there's no place for everyone to sit down. So people are sort of like scattered. You're like scattered. There's couches and chairs.
It's a party.
And you're eating on your lap and you're standing up. And it's so there's no sit down. No. Like the tables are taken up with food. There's no and then the other thing is in the kitchen, the first waves of food are served at the kitchen table and everybody's standing at the table. And then there's a famous line that we say in the family, which is,
eat and fall back.
That's right. That's where you may get a friendly or semi-friendly elbow that's like, hey, bro, you're hogging the shrimp. Let's go.
Right. It's not like anybody gives you like a evil eye. Or they just tell you flat out, eat and fall back. You've had your share. That's right. Somebody else needs to take your spot.
That's right.
Yeah. But that's in the kitchen table, and you just sort of surround it, and it's amazing. It's
I got to tell you,
fun.
if you haven't been, if you don't have this celebration, invite yourself over to an Italian family celebration because you will not believe it.
Unless you don't like fish or seafood.
Or you're worried about it being like the bear.
Right.
You find another party.
You may starve if you don't like seafood.
Yes.
You're you used to be in that boat.
But now I like some of the dishes.
Yeah. But we have cousins who kind of dread the whole dinner part because they're waiting for the buffet.
The pasta. Mm-hmm. That's right. Okay, but we've left out the most important thing of the whole meal.
Oh.
For me. Not for the wine. And this is the Wine Per podcast. So what do you say we get to the wine that we chose for this episode?
I think we better because we could talk about this all night.
And, if you want to know more, just give us a call.
Right. Well,
we won't give you our number, but just give us a call.
And we won't give you an invitation because we have too many uncles and cousins and aunts.
Well, if you're good, you
honorary...
might. Someday you might. Okay, but anyway, as usual, all of the wines we have chosen for this episode are reasonably priced. That means under $20, Carmela. And all of them should be relatively easy to find because I bought them all on wine.com. Now, I'm not sure, as I always say, you will be able to find these exact wines at like your local wine shop or grocery store, but you should be able to find versions of them at any decent-sized wine shop or wine section and especially one that specializes in Italian wine. You should be able to find at least a version of these wines, even if it's not these exact ones. But, you can get these exact ones at wine.com. And I also wanted to get a decent cross-section of Italian wines. So there are 2 white wines. Of course, you're going to have white wines because it's seafood, right? And one of them is from Sicily, and then a sparkling red Lambrusco. And so that's a really fun and festive wine, and it's kind of a different choice, and I think it's kind of a
Did you just
conversation
come up with that?
piece. No, I mean, because it's supposed to go well with fish, even though it's a red wine, but it's a sparkling red wine.
And it's kind of, you drink it kind of cool.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I mean, like most sparkling wines.
Right.
It's not a sparkling wine that you would serve warm.
Yeah, room temperature.
I would not go over as well.
No.
Okay, so the first wine we're going to drink is called Caruso e Menini Naturalmente Bio Catarratto. Now, Catarratto may not be a wine you're familiar with, but we think you should be, which is one of the reasons we do this episode. The wine is generally from Sicily, and interestingly enough, it's most often used as a blending grape in Marsala as well as vermouth.
Oh, wow.
So that's how you might have run into it.
Is it going to be a little sweet?
Well, no, actually, interestingly enough.
Okay.
So, but in this case with Catarratto, and it's not the most common wine, but they will make a dry white wine, not a sweet wine, that's called Catarratto.
Okay.
And then, as you can tell from the name of this one, Naturalmente Bio, it's made from organic grapes. And it's also fermented in stainless steel. And the wine, Catarratto, is usually relatively big-bodied and not super acidic. So this is a good alternative for us and maybe a good choice for family and friends who want to try like a Chardonnay or something of that nature, but want to try something different.
Okay.
So again, might be a good choice. And here's an interesting little tidbit too. Are you ready for a tidbit?
I love tidbits.
It's a little gift. A little gift.
A little morsel.
Yeah, some people think that Catarratto is a relative or descended from the Garganega grape, which is what...
I know you sound like you're gargling with that. Garganega.
Which is what Soave is made from. And Soave is our next wine.
I love Soave.
I didn't even know this was going to be that way when I chose these wines. I shouldn't have said that. You guys would have thought I was a genius, but I just let it out of the bag.
You are just incredible.
So dumb. Okay, anyway. So the next wine is called La Cappuccina Suave.
Wow.
Cappuccina Suave.
Cappuccina.
Not cappuccino, but La
Right,
Cappuccina, which would be the feminine version. I don't know why.
Wow.
Okay.
From now on, I'm going to ask for a cappuccina. Even though I don't drink
I wonder
coffee.
what they would give you if you ordered
You're
a
like,
cappuccino.
No, I want a female one.
They'd probably just say,
I want a lady
Americano.
coffee.
And then they just give you one. Exactly, a lady coffee. I like it. Okay, so this wine is from the whole other end of Italy. Like, go the opposite end of Sicily, like
way up
diagonal,
north, huh?
right? And it's in the Veneto region. And it's specifically from one of our favorite cities in the whole world, Carmela, where we spent some time, Verona.
Oh.
And Soave is becoming a little bit of a go-to wine. So, and Soave is on a different end from the Catarratto. It's a crisp wine. It's a lighter white wine. And it's really made for fish. Now, this winery says that this specific wine is left on the lees for 6 months, which is not super typical for white wines. And it's not super typical for non-sparkling wines. So remember, again, the lees are like the sediment, the yeast left over from the making of the wine, and it can give like a nuttiness or a creaminess or sometimes that kind of flavoring, especially in sparkling wine. And it sometimes gives an aroma of yeast as well.
Okay.
So this is going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you usually hear about white wines sitting on the lees. And I will say, this wine is very, 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 very like yellowy orange.
Oh, wow. Dark.
Like somebody didn't drink enough water.
Oh, boy. You had to say that.
I did. I had to say
You
it.
just couldn't resist.
I couldn't resist it. Okay, so the last wine we're going to try today is a Lambrusco, which is a wine that can have a pretty varied reputation, I will say. So we've had a Lambrusco before in our podcast. And again, a Lambrusco is generally a red sparkling wine, and it can vary a lot in how it's made. It can be sweet. It can be dry. It can be fizzy or sparkly. It can be light or heavy. It really depends. So you can't just pick up a Lambrusco because they're going to vary quite a bit. So this wine is called Peranza Gibe Lambrusco Grasparosa di Castelvetro, and it comes from the Emilia-Romagna area, which is also in northern Italy. It's just south of Venice. It's just south of the Veneto and sort of east of Florence. Now, Lambrusco is the name of the grape, but there are actually 6 different varieties of the grape that the wine can be made from. And usually they are a blend of different varieties of Lambrusco. But this wine is made from 100% Lambrusco Grasparoso di Castelvetro.
Nice.
And then the area, I can almost say it, the area where this wine is from, which is just south of the town of Modena, is the smallest wine producing region in Lambrusco. Isn't that interesting?
That is.
Now, this wine is fermented on the skins for 3 days. So it's a red wine, so you would expect it to be on the skins. And it's also fermented in stainless steel tanks. And this will not be a bone dry wine.
No.
I'm just warning you right now.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a little bit of sweetness.
The Lambruscos
Always have a little
hint. Yeah.
They do. And I'm expecting it to be kind of a fuzzy or fizzy wine. They're usually called
fizzy.
Yeah, they're usually
fuzzy.
Fuzzy. Like fuzzy in your mouth. They're usually called frizzante in Italian as a specific type of kind of like almost soda pop kind of fizzy kind of wine. And it should be acidic.
Kind of fine bubbles too.
Yeah.
Is that such a thing? I don't know. I feel like it's a little, like you said, fizzy rather than like bubbly.
Yeah. It's not going to look like a champagne. Well, you wouldn't be able to see it anyway because it's such a dark wine, but it's not going to be like a champagne or normal sparkling wine with these bubbles that kind of come up to it's more like a soda pop.
Yeah.
In that way. Should also be acidic and medium bodied, and should not only be a good complement to seafood, but like a fun wine that red wine drinkers should like as well.
Okay.
So I think we're ready to try these wines.
I think so.
Okay, this will be fun. It'll be exciting. Some different wines and good options, and we'll let you know in a few minutes, or just a minute, which one of these we think is the best.
All right.
And they may tie. Who knows?
That's fine.
Okay, we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and we're ready to try our first wine. This is the Caruso e Menini Naturalmente Bio Catarato. This is, did you like that? This is from Sicily in Italy. It's a 2022. This was $19.99 at wine.com, so just on the edge. 13% alcohol, which is a little bit high for a white wine. 100% Catarato, and James is a sucky suckling.
Oh, boy.
We don't like James Suckling, if you haven't recalled this.
Come on.
Okay,
look.
Whatever.
We don't even know the guy.
He gave it a 92, which is amazing, because usually he just gives 90s.
Yeah.
Okay, but what are you smelling?
Oh, it's nice. First of all, the bottle's really cool. We were talking about that. I like it.
Right off the bat, I'm wondering if it's oaked because it has a little bit of vanilla.
And buttery kind of smell to it. A little creamy.
Creamy, like almost butterscotchy. But I am getting like apple and maybe...
Almost like a pear. A little bit of that pear. Whoa.
Are you throwing? She's just... What did you do? What did you throw?
A fork.
You threw a fork at my head? You threw the pen.
I was trying to reenact the bear.
Okay, you gotta watch it. Okay.
No, no. Wait, what was I saying?
I don't know, a pear. You were getting
kind
really
of like
a bear pear.
Yes, those wonderful Harry and David pears.
Ooh, yeah.
They were so good. And this has a little bit of that creamy, pears can be kind of creamy.
Not really, but I'm with you.
Ooh, I don't know what the word is, but this has a bit of pear on it.
I'm getting a little notes of nuttiness, almost a little nut on
you're
it.
So
little
nutty.
almond, maybe a little almond.
Okay.
Yeah, there's something sweet on it, like maybe a little lemony, but I keep getting a little tropical fruit, like maybe a little
bit,
guava or something.
Even a little pineapple.
Pineapple, yeah. Well, there's a lot going on in this glass.
Yeah.
Should we taste it and see what we think? Ooh. I don't know if I'm not sure if it's oaked, but it's medium bodied.
Yes.
Like it's definitely got
a lot going on.
A lot of body on it.
Ooh, yeah.
What do you think?
It's kind of hot. I mean, it's a little alcohol.
Oh, yeah, it's 13% alcohol, which is a lot. I kind of feel like almost as a white wine, you could probably age for a while.
Wow, yeah. It is good. And I do think it would be good with a lot of these like fish garlicky sauces that they're usually kind of a brothy sauce that goes along with the seafood. Especially I'm thinking like the mussels and clams.
Yeah.
I know we're jumping ahead, but all of a sudden I just...
No, I'm totally with you, but I think it's got body, it's got some depth. I think this would be a good wine for people who like a Chardonnay. I do. I think people would like it. What flavors are you getting though?
It is a little citrusy or lemony, tangy. There's a tang to it. But I would think more of like a lemon citrus rather. There's not like orange, but definitely some citrus on it.
And I'm getting a little bit, I'm almost getting Asian pear on it, like a little bit of Asian pear and a little bit of pineapple juice.
Because it's a little tart or like a Granny Smith.
No, more of that like crunchy Asian pear.
Oh, that's interesting.
And they're pretty sweet. Because this has some sweetness on it for sure.
Yeah, but I'm getting a lot of tart.
For sure. But I'm getting like...
Sour Patch Kid.
Okay.
A little tart and then sweetness.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting some honey or vanilla.
Okay.
Like a sweet, like not vanilla, like caramely kind of vanilla. Like that kind of,
okay. Yeah.
That kind of caramely kind of taste.
Right. A little buttery then.
I'm almost thinking it's a little oaked.
Yeah.
But I can't tell for 100%. And I don't think I wrote that down.
It's got a bit, it's pretty bold.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big wine. Okay. What food, you've already said, what food would you...
I think I'm thinking of Feast of Seven Fishes. I think like spaghetti and clam sauce would be really good. So like anything with clams and mussels and...
Grilled shrimp.
Oh, grilled shrimp would be amazing.
So good with this.
Yeah.
But I think oysters, I don't eat oysters, but I'm imagining.
I don't know. Wow.
I'm imagining
You're
that I'm just going to throw it out there.
Have you ever had an oyster?
Not that I want to remember. But I just think this is a very versatile wine. I think you could drink this all through the meal. I think you could drink this with pasta.
Oh, with tomato sauce?
I kind of think you could because it's not a super acidic wine. Maybe the tartness would be a little bit of a throw off, but I think it could handle it okay.
No, I do too. I mean, I think this would be great with all of the fish.
I agree.
All of the fish from start to finish.
I think
even
so
just
too.
Like the
the baked clams. Ooh,
it'd be really good.
Baby.
Yes, with that breading on top. Oh my gosh! Shout out to my Aunt Deanne. They're the hosts this year. She makes these amazing baked clams. No, but this could go even with the simple like cracked crab.
Ow! I hate cracked crab. No, actually, I never eat it. It freaks me out.
I like it.
Okay, fine.
I like
freaks
it.
Me out.
But the grilled shrimp are my favorite. And shout out to my dad. Because he's like amazing on the grill with those shrimp. Anyway.
Let's rate this wine. Okay, as a reminder on our rating scale, Carmela loves, you can tell this is her favorite celebration. Okay, we rate on a scale of 1 to 10 where 7 and above means that we're going to buy it, and a 4 below means we're going to pour it down the sink, and a 5 or a 6 means we're going to drink it. And we'll finish it, but we might look for something else. So what would you give the Caruso Emenini Naturalmente Bio Catarato?
Whoa, as long as you say it. If you like introduce it to me like that each time, I mean, that's like a 15 out of 10.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to give it an 8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think I might.
Okay, I'm going to give it a 7. The reason why is this. 7 is a great rating.
Yeah,
it means that we're going to buy it rating.
Yeah.
It's not totally my style of white wine. However, I think at a big dinner party, this is a great choice because it kind of hits a lot of different palates. Like if you like a white wine, good white wine. If you like a bigger white wine, good white wine. If you want something a little bigger bodied, good wine.
I just think too, this is great. This would be great with food.
I agree.
And so I guess I am starting to really think about how this would marry with the Feast of the Seven Fishes.
You marry a fish.
Next week.
There, raise the roof. Okay, we're going to take a break and we're going to try our next wine.
All right.
All right, we're back. We're ready for our next wine. This is the La Cappuccina Suave.
Is that a church on this bottle?
I don't know. I'm not looking at it. It's from Veneto, Italy. It's the year. The vintage is 2021.
Or a schoolhouse? Probably not a schoolhouse.
No, it's probably Cappuccina.
Cappuccina.
You know what? The Capuchin monks were male monks. Maybe these are female monks. Who knows? Okay, can I just finish?
Yes.
$17.99 at wine.com, 12% alcohol. Garganega is the grape, and Vinius, which is one of my favorite reviewers, gave it a 90.
Okay.
So you are really obsessed with the bottle.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what the heck. Okay, at La Cappuccina, the site of an ancient chapel of Franciscan friars. For over a century, since 1890. Okay.
All right.
There we go.
What are you smelling?
We go.
How about I start?
How about you start since I haven't smelled it yet?
Sweet, lemony, something little stone fruity on it, maybe a little bit of peach on it.
Yeah, I think I'm getting a little bit more of that peach nectarine even.
But citrus. I'm definitely getting citrus on it.
Yeah, that nectarine kind of taste.
I'm
or
almost
smell?
I almost wonder if I'm smelling a little stone, like a little rock.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I'm getting a little bit of citrus though.
I said citrus.
Yeah, I know. You said lemony. But you said lemon sweet in the same sentence.
Yeah, lemony sweet.
Like lemonade?
No, not that sweet. Okay, let's try it. Wow. It's tart. It's really tart. Lemony. It's very...
Makes you pucker.
It's very lemony.
It's good though. And I can see how it would be really nice with fish.
And this is actually, it would be a good... I
like this one.
It's super clean, super acidic.
Yes.
This is really cleans off. This is our kind of white wine. Really crisp, crunchy wine. Sweet. It's got sweetness and lemony and tart. Like it's kind of this, it's almost tastes like a candy, but not a super sweet candy.
Like a lemon head where you kind of have that sweetness at the beginning.
Just a little bit.
And then the more you suck on it, the more it gets... gets a little tart.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
It is a different wine than the first one. A lot less body, a lot more. And this is, to me, is like a summer sipper as well. Like this is something that would be great.
This
to have during the
is
summer.
our kind of wine.
Totally.
Yeah,
totally.
I love it.
What food would you have with La Cappuccina?
Oh, I think you could do so much with this. But this is also another wine. Like the other wine, I feel like you had to eat with it to really bring out that, to kind of balance it out. This, I think you could just sip and be happy.
So I would agree with you, except that there are some, I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
Are you disagreeing with me?
No.
Okay.
I just think this is the wine that you and I would just sip. And I think the other wine is the wine that like a Chardonnay or a bigger white wine lover would just sip.
Okay, yeah. So you and I, okay, I get that. Like people, that one I think I just would enjoy more with food.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is definitely for the crisp Italian. This is a classic crisp Northern Italian wine. And this would go well with any kind of, if you serve fried fish. So if you serve a fried fish.
You can have spicy food with this.
You
could. Spicy fish dish too.
Yeah, if you are a
like
calabrese
with the little red peppers.
Yeah,
in there.
So if you're having something hot, great. If you're having fried food like a fried calamari or something, it'd be really, really good. Think people, or even like some people do fried like fish, fried sardines, fried, a lot of different fried
like
foods.
Fruta di mare, when you have that. That is always like bits of fried fish within that sauce too.
And anything, yes, I'm totally with you. And anything that you would add lemon to, any fish dish that you would add lemon to, this you wouldn't even need it. You just put it on this.
Oh my gosh!
Or even the clams in the breaded clams.
Oh, the baked clams. Yeah, they'd be so good.
So good. Okay, so what rating are you going to give?
Oh God,
La
this is
Cappuccina?
tough because
La Cappuccina.
Wow. I think that if this is tough, like I'm almost wanting to pull back on that other one.
Don't pull back. Really? Be true to yourself.
Well, I don't know. I'm like, could this be a 9 for me? Or I might have overrated the other one.
Well, you make the call.
This is a delicious wine. I'm going to give it a 9.
You're giving it a 9. She's giving it a 9.
It's a little bit of a reserved 9, but I think it's, a 9. That's a great rating.
You're giving it a great rating.
Okay.
I'm giving it an 8. Okay. I really like it. Okay. I really like it.
I just feel like we need to be drinking this.
Yeah. And I might give it a 7. Like, it's a good wine. It's not like the greatest wine I've ever had, but I like it a lot.
Right.
I like it.
Right.
I like it a lot.
And maybe I just keep thinking about Feast of the Seven Fishes and how this would be so good.
It's perfect. It's perfect. All right. We're going to take a break and we're going to try our last wine, which will be really exciting because it's a sparkling red wine. Okay, we are back.
Wow,
ready to try our last wine.
Giggles tonight. Huh?
This is the Pederzana Gibe Lambrusco Grasparosa di Castrovetro. It's from Emilia Romagna in Italy. This is a 2019. A lot of times sparkling wines don't have a vintage. Lambrusco, they often do. It was $16.99 at wine.com, 12% alcohol, and 100% Lambrusco Grasparosa di Castrovetro. Okay, what are you smelling? It's first of all, it's like it is fizzy. It's
it always
just
has like a foam layer when you first pour it, and then it does go away. But it's just it's fizzy rather than bubbly.
What are you smelling?
Okay, it's so strange. It's so interesting. I mean, right away I was like, is it wood or like matchstick? But it's also kind of like some kind of herb or flower or something.
Very flowery. It's grapey. It smells grapey, but it also smells very plummy to me, like a plum jam.
I don't know. There's something on it, though. It's like lavender, maybe?
Lavender. Mm-hmm.
You know? Oh, happy New
It
Year.
is earthy. It does smell like brambly. You know, that's kind of a nerdy word term, but brambly, like you're in the woods and you're smelling, blackberry bushes, which I do all the time.
This is weird, but it smells a little bit like a hospital gown.
Oh, that is weird. I'm trying to think about
Plasticky or something. I don't know.
Soapy. It does have kind of soapiness to it. Sometimes flowery is soapy.
Soapy or clean, but like, I don't know. I'm kind of saying some contradictory things here, but but it
medicine-y, almost medicine-y in a way.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, it almost has a little bit of smell of Band-Aids.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Almost like a little bit of a Band-Aid smell, like that plasticky Band-Aid smell.
I'm really serious. I think that's what I'm kind of smelling.
I got it. I got what you're smelling.
Wow. Okay, look at you. You just figured me out.
I figured you out a long time ago. Okay,
you did?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Let's taste it.
Okay.
I mean, it is fizzy like a soda pop.
Ooh.
It's kind of interesting.
It's got a Band-Aid taste.
It does have a little bit of Band-Aid taste.
The old style Band-Aid.
Mm-hmm. They used to lick. No, I don't know if
the last time I ate a Band-Aid. No, but it does.
It's very bitter.
It is a little bitter.
It's like a bitter fruit on it.
Like pith?
Mm-hmm. A lot.
A lot of
very
pith.
bitter.
Yeah.
I gotta say I'm not really loving it. I don't think I'm really loving it.
I'm not. Whoa, I keep hitting this thing. I'm not really either. I don't like the aftertaste. I'm not really sure about this.
You know, it's very grape skin. Got a lot of grape skin.
Yeah, yes,
Do you know, we've talked about this before, but when I was a kid, I was a weird kid, and I would peel grapes, with my teeth. I'd peel the grapes.
Oh, you pull it off.
And I'd eat the grape skins, and they're so tannic and bitter and weird, and they got a little bit of grape taste. But
like
also
a
this
red grape or a green grape?
This is a red grape skin
I think so
taste.
Too. Mm-hmm.
It's almost olivey. Almost has an olive taste.
A little
like black.
briny.
Yeah, a little black olive, briny, salty. Yeah. Now, foods on this one, I think you have to have, I don't know, this would go great with
seafood.
Well, here's what I'd say. It has to be grilled. It would have to be a grilled shrimp, something grilled.
Something charred, a little charred on.
Something charred or something fried. Like, I don't think you could do anything tender
no,
with this.
no light flaky fish.
No.
Not even like crab, like
no. I don't think so.
Steamed crab or
steamed clams, mussels.
No,
I don't think you could do it.
I do think I can see the shrimp with a little bit of, like grilled marks on there.
Totally. I think it would work. That would work fine.
That would work, but I'm not crazy for this.
No, and maybe a buttery, like if you were doing a lobster or
with
something
like
buttery,
lemon butter.
Yeah, lemon butter. You might be able to get away with it. But this is more of like a pasta spaghetti and meatball lasagna kind of. Now you wouldn't do meatballs at the feast. Yeah, but you wouldn't do meatballs at the Feast of the Seven Fishes.
No,
but if you had a lasagna, non-meat lasagna, or something really cheesy, it'd be really good with cheese. This is a good appetizer wine, I think. Like if you have stinky cheese, like an Italian stinky cheese, I think this would go great.
What about, a lot of times Lambruscos, aren't they kind of a dessert wine too?
They can be. This one is not super sweet.
No, it's not.
It's pretty dry. It's not bone dry, but it's pretty dry.
It's a great bottle.
A beautiful bottle.
Like the design and everything. Just not loving it.
No, I can't get olive out of my head.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's give it a rating. What rating would you give it? This one.
Gosh, I don't think I would. I think I'd probably give it like a...
Are you going
5?
Okay, I'm giving it a 5. I don't think it's pour down the sink.
No, but I think I would either hand it off or... I don't know if I'd have a little bit of a hard time finishing it though.
Yeah. It's on the cusp of a 4.
Yeah.
It is on the cusp of a 4.
Bad. Yeah.
I really had high hopes. We've been drinking this Lambrusco that's like a rosé pet nat kind of Lambrusco that's beautiful. I should have brought that one on the show because it's Radice, R-A-D-I-C-E. It's beautiful wine. That one you can drink all night with seafood, without seafood. Like it's beautiful, beautiful wine. This one, Menza.
Yeah.
Okay, so Carmela, which one of these wines are you finishing tonight?
Ooh, I'm going straight for the Suave.
I knew it. La Cappuccina.
Suave. What about you?
I'm definitely doing the same thing. Like, of all the wines tonight, that's the one that's most sort of like...
That one kind of knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, it's kind of... Well, but it's also up our alley.
Right.
I think if you like, again, like a bigger bodied white wine, more Chardonnay, like you're going to really like the Catarratto, and you might not love the Soave. Although the Soave is not as sort of flyaway as a Pinot Grigio can be. It's got a little bit more flavor than that, but it's definitely a crisp white wine.
Right. So are we bringing a bottle?
Yeah, for sure.
Christmas Eve?
For sure. Okay, let's talk about the taste profiles expected from these wines.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
So, Caruso e Menini Naturalmente Bio Catarratto.
I think you just like to say that.
I do. James Suckling said aromas of waxed apples, grilled lemons. He's so weird. Honeysuckle and praline. Crushed stone minerality.
Okay.
Fresh, fruity, refreshing acidity, medium body. I didn't think it had a lot of acidity. Creamy and attractive. I agree with medium body and creamy. Rock Juice says...
I was like, rock juice.
Yeah, no.
Rock juice.
This is another website. Sunny and breezy with crisp yellow apple, Meyer lemon, and almonds, balancing white flowers and apricots, and a kiss of acid on the finish. Well, what did we say?
We didn't do so bad. We have a lot of this.
I said nuttiness.
Right, and you have almond, lemony, with medium body... Creamy?
Peach.
Yeah, no, we had a lot of it.
So James Suckling, as usual, is just full of crap. I don't know what he tastes.
Oh my God.
But the rock juice, like totally on, like they're different. It's like they tasted different things.
Right.
Grilled lemon. Who the hell is grilled lemons? Okay, anyway. La Cappuccina.
People grill lemons.
It's weird. Okay. La Cappuccina Suave. The winery says bright straw yellow in color, delicate notes of flowers and almonds on the nose. Well-structured, fruity with a hint of bitter almonds. The Vinia said vividly fruity yet floral. Didn't we get flowers on it?
Yes, I was saying.
Candied lime and salty minerals with sour melon nuances, juicy acidity.
Melon. We didn't really say much about melon.
We didn't. Tropical flourish comes through.
Okay.
Spicy Suave, he said. Take advantage of its zesty character.
I felt like it was definitely zesty, but I don't know if I would call it spicy.
Didn't we get like salty and minerally and
some rock on it too, and we did a lot of like some tropical stuff though, and a nectarine peach.
Did we say flowers too? So there you go. I think we did pretty well.
Not bad.
And then the Perranze Lambrusco, the winery says a lively red with purple highlights, persistent mousse. I agree. Lovely lilac pink hue. That's true. Broad inviting bouquet, notes of ripe black cherry, macerated plum, wild strawberry, and licorice. Licorice is good. But we said plum.
You did say plum out of the gate. Yeah.
Let's see. We were able to enjoy the dark flavor of overripe cherries. Okay, I can see that. Started with the typical bitterness you'd expect with Lambrusco and finished with sweeter, plummy notes. They weren't getting like the olive, though, and the...
Not the briny, pithy. No.
So, I mean... Look, here's what I'd say. Maybe there's probably a lot of people that love that aspect of Lambrusco. More power to you. Go for it.
Right.
Like, not quite our cup o' tea. But I think 3 wines, if you want something different, bringing a sparkling red wine is always kind of a fun thing to do. A little bit different.
And Lambruscos, there are some great ones. And there would be people who would probably enjoy this.
This very much. And it's
a great looking bottle.
This could be a great example of a wine that just needs food with it. And then you might feel really differently about it. That just sipping it on its own, it's like, I'm expecting something a little different. But if you had it with like a stinky cheese or something, you're like, oh, this is awesome. Let's drink more.
Right. Let's drink more.
And maybe with oysters that I don't drink, it would be great.
Ooh, that you don't drink?
I mean, I don't eat. It would be great to drink.
People, a lot of them kind of do.
You kind of do drink an oyster.
Yeah,
you don't really eat an oyster.
No.
You kind of drink an oyster.
Should I challenge you to an oyster?
No,
okay,
but our son and our daughter started too. Our son, although he didn't do it the last couple of years because he went vegan or vegetarian.
But now
I wonder if he's going to go back.
I don't know if he will. It was actually a bit of
tradition.
torture.
It was his tradition every Christmas Eve that he would try.
And a lot of people have adopted that. A lot of the younger generation, like his age and younger, they've all kind of been doing it like, oh, it's the oyster celebration. And they'll just have one that night.
Yeah.
But
I can't do it.
I just don't have any interest.
I can't do it. I'm surprised you don't.
I really just don't. I don't love oysters.
Yeah, I don't either.
I've had them.
They also make me a little nervous.
How about how my brother made fried oysters and you just thought you weren't going to see the next day?
I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to die.
I know.
I was just ready to die.
You were fine.
No, everybody was fine. Everybody was eating them. There was also something a little bit like, I don't want to go there. It's just something a little bit like,
what?
How do I say it?
Okay.
That's not going in the podcast.
Right, please?
For sure.
Can you please?
So, Carmela, it's just about time for us to go. But before we do want to thank you very much for listening to us. If you haven't done so yet, give yourself a Christmas gift or a holiday gift, Hanukkah, whatever, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. by subscribing to our podcast.
I mean,
and
what better
giving
gift
us,
would you want under the tree?
That's right. And give us a gift of a nice rating and review. And we'd also love to hear from you.
And from the people in Virginia.
We would love to hear from you. So you can leave a message for us on our website, thewinepairpodcast.com. You can always email me at joe@thewinepairpodcast.com. If you go to our website, you can sign up for our newsletter. And if you missed our newsletter, you can just email me and I'll send it to you. I promise. And follow us on Instagram so you can see some of the pictures of the wines that we are drinking. And also, we're going to do some AI pictures. Oh. There you go. And with that, we're going to sign off. And we'll thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you one more time.
And as we like to say, life is short, so stop drinking shitty wine. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
And the happy ending at the end of our story. Always think too much. Always drink too much. Always pray too much. Always play too much. And when I'm with you too much, I fall in love too much. And when I'm away too much,